Welcome back, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time you're turning into this video here I'm posting. Behind me, I got my truck, as usual, because I'm constantly working on this thing. It's got 145,000 miles on it, and what I've come to realize is the truck runs great, but what I'm realizing is I'm not getting rid of the truck. But anyways, I'm going to post this video here for you guys. It might be simple. It might be information, a lot of information for some people that are trying to look for a video about changing oil, particularly on this truck. It's a 2005 Silverado 2500. As you guys know by following my channel, there's plenty of videos on this truck and what I've done and what the upkeep is. But so I'm going to do this simple video basically explaining how to do an oil change. It's simple. It's preventive maintenance. Everybody should do it every 3,000 to 5,000 miles depending on what kind of oil you use. But I figured I haven't posted this video on my channel yet. So let's get into it. So what I have in front of you guys is a few things that you're going to need to change the oil in any vehicle. Obviously, this is going to pertain to the truck, but it's basic for any oil change. I run, and this is since I've bought this truck used with one owner, and I bought it with 60,000 miles, and I said earlier it's had 145 now. I run Castrol GTX Syntec. It used to be a different type. It was Castrol Syntec, now it's Castrol Edge. Same shit, different brand name. I use K&N filter because I go about 4,000 to 5,000 miles on my oil change because it's full advanced synthetic. Use a window washer fluid. I turned it around so I don't, that's just an empty window washer fluid bottle. A catch pan, a rag, a funnel, and obviously that's for the use mode oil because you can use the jug that it's in too. But I just find it just easier to pour in one of these. Those malts are bigger now, but I've been doing it for years that way. So anyways, and it's good if you go to a recycle center, not Walmart, and if you go someplace that uses a waste oil burner, they can look at the oil through the clear jug instead of the original jug. Some people like to sneak tranny fluid and antifreeze and all sorts of good stuff. All right, so those three right there are cups. Those are filter cups. What they do is go on the bottom of the filter. I do not use those for my truck anymore. I do use them for certain things, but not anymore because K&N on the bottom of it, which I'll show you later, has a nut, which is a 1-inch nut on that extension right there. A couple wrenches, that'll do the oil drain, 15 millimeter on my truck, and a couple ratchets in a socket, that's for the filter. That also right there is a filter wrench too, and this is an adjustable filter, so if you have massive filters, this works well too. Diesel trucks and a lot of equipment that I've worked on and operate for the past, I don't know, 2 decades. So that comes in handy. I use that and I put that in my bag for traveling, just in case in the winter time, whatever, on my machines. That's another video for another day. But anyways, get off that. But yeah, so that's basically some of the items you're going to need for an oil change. So first thing you do is go in your vehicle and pop the hood latch. Wherever that may be in your vehicle, look at your owner's manual, find that. Second, you're going to usually find an oil fill cap. It'll say, get straight on it for you, 5W30. That's the oil you're going to use in the vehicle. Use manufacturing specs and don't do nothing but manufacturing. So anyways, right here is your dipstick for your oil. Yellow on this truck. That's your transmission fluid. That's red because tranny fluid is red for some people that may not know that. And now's a good time when you're doing the oil to check a bunch of your other fluids. Brake, that's your brake fluid. Antifreeze is over there. Power steering is down there. And obviously your transmission right over there. It's a good time to check all those fluids. And might as well window washer fluid. So after you find and determine what oil you need for your vehicle, you're going to get yourself underneath your vehicle, and trucks are really nice to work on, and I don't have a lift kit in this truck. My old truck I did, which was even easier to work on in some cases, but my truck's sitting on 33s. I don't need a jack. I'm not super fat yet, so I can still fit underneath this truck. And the Chevys are very nice. This is within, I don't know, it's probably 8 inches span, my thumb and my finger here, pointer finger, and that's the drain plug, and there's your filter. GM figured it out with this. I don't know how the new ones are. I haven't worked on them, but this right here is a 15 millimeter, and that nut right there, which is cool with the K&N filters, is 1 inch. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll get my wrench together and I'll break this open for you guys, and we'll spin this off, and we'll get going here. So basically, you want to get, I like to get the box end wrench on there. My exhaust, my crossover pipe, well, actually, it's not a crossover pipe, I'm sorry, because this is true dual exhaust on the 6.0 on my truck at least. It's a pain in the ass. There's not a lot of space between the plug and the exhaust, so I use a wrench, and I always like to get the box end on. Yeah, I should be wearing gloves. I'm probably going to die of cancer from oil, but don't do what I do. Wear some gloves. I've been doing this for a long time, and still no excuse. Wear gloves when you do this, and it'll be safer. So basically, this is my problem I have with, and I know every Chevy guy watching this, or anyone buying a Chevy, will have the same problem. That pipe from the header, the exhaust, new O2 sensor I just put in, by the way. Check out, I got that video posted on here. Go look back, it's on there. Oh yeah, it acts like a waterfall. It's beautiful and majestic. And that oil's probably got about, I don't know, almost 4,000. I don't know. You can go longer with the full synthetic, but I'm just a stickler, and I choose to change my oil sooner. So yeah, drain the oil out, clean your plug, make sure there's nothing on it. And then I'll spin that filter off. That's self-explanatory. Put the socket on there, spin that off. And then with the new filter, what you want to do is fill it up a little bit and put a little bit of oil on the O-ring. I'll show you that in a minute. Bye, oil. So like I said, the nice thing about this filter is it has a nut on the bottom of it. And you could spin this thing right off, and it's very, very handy. And I suggest, if you're running full synthetic oil, you should be running a premium oil filter as far as I'm concerned. Don't buy a cheap Fram. If I can give you any advice from this video, never buy a Fram oil filter, ever. I don't care if you're going to spend the extra $5. Get yourself a Mobil 1, Purolator 1, or a K&N, or any other premium brand oil filter. You'll thank yourself in the long run, and not even yourself. Your motor and your vehicle will thank you in the long run, especially if you go over a little bit between oil changes and you're not, super crazy about it. Me personally, I have 145,000 miles on this truck, original motor, original transmission, and I service everything on this thing. There's my transmission pan, new gasket, new filter in that. I wish I recorded that for you guys. Next service, I will record that for you. I apologize for not catching that footage. It's pretty interesting to some people. But yeah, get yourself a premium oil filter. Don't buy Fram. So just double check and make sure. Sorry about the lighting. I'll try to get some light in here, but that's where the oil filter goes. Make sure your gasket isn't still stuck on the housing, and make sure you get all your oil drained out. That's pretty much it. It'll drip for a while if you let it, but just make sure your O-ring from your old filter is not still up there. Premium oil filters shouldn't have a problem with that. They're well made and they're well manufactured and shouldn't have a problem with that. But the cheap ones, you just be careful. But like I said before, don't cheap out. And then when you go put the new filter on, make sure you put a little bit of oil on there on the gasket so it seals up tight. When you put the new filter in, and make sure you put your plug back in, and then I'll meet you guys up top. Oh. Okay guys, so we're back up top, up here on the motor. So what you're going to do is take this cap off, put that to the side, don't lose that. Get your funnel, make sure your funnel is nice and clean. Put your funnel in there. And then you're going to open up your oil. And you're going to very carefully, very carefully. Is that a word? No, not really. So that's my accent here. Let me move this little quart of oil out of the way first, and then we'll add that afterwards. Pour this right into the filter. Like I said, make sure underneath is all buttoned up. Your filter's tight, not super tight, but tight enough where it isn't going to leak. And make sure your plug's in. And then afterwards, when you start your vehicle for the first time, to reset your oil life gauge in your vehicle, go underneath the vehicle and check for leaks. Make sure nothing's leaking, and you should be good to go for another 4,000 to 5,000 miles, depending on what type of oil you use. If it's conventional, which I don't know who the heck is using conventional motor oil anymore, that's rated for like 3,000 miles or 3 months. I don't know what scientist came up with that, but anyways, I run this, like I said, Castrol Edge, and I've had nothing but good luck with it. I run all Castrol products in my vehicle. I'm not sponsored by Castrol, but if they see this video, yeah, they're very good oil and lubrication company. Tranny, rear differential, front differential, transfer case, transmission. I already said that. Motor oil. I run everything. If they made antifreeze, I'd buy their damn antifreeze, but they don't. So yeah, that's it, guys. So basically, top off your oil. Make sure you find out and read your owner's manual how many quarts you need. My truck takes 6, so there's 1 quart, and that's 5 quarts, a gallon. And yeah, we'll check the dipstick after we fill this up, put the cap back on, and start the motor up and make sure nothing's leaking. And so basically that's it, guys. It's very, very simple, and it should be done, you know, in intervals of, as far as I'm concerned, 3,000 to 5,000 miles. I know they got that new oil out that goes, I don't know, 10,000 miles. That's ridiculous. I don't know. I'd call me old school, but I would never, ever run that annual stuff, whatever they rate it for. So there's my final quart of oil going in, and I'll fire this thing up, check the oil level, and should be good to go. Make sure you guys dispose of your used motor oil properly. I like to use an empty window washer fluid bottle because I can see how full I'm getting, but you can also use the original container it came in after you change your oil. But make sure you dispose of it properly, whether it's bringing it to your local automotive store, or like me, I have a friend who has a waste oil burner, and I bring him all my used motor oil. He makes a joke and says it's so clean that he could actually run it back in his trucks. He owns a big commercial business, and he says the way I take care of my truck is ridiculous. But you know what? It's going strong, and it will continue to go strong as long as it's in my hands. All right, so make sure before you start the motor, check your dipstick, wherever your oil dipstick is. Locate that in your owner's manual as well, and check to make sure you're up to the line and where your marks are. I'm good to go. So good to go. 6 quarts. That's all this 6.0 takes. 6 for 6. And start it up. Make sure it all, no leaks, no nothing, and you're good to go. Come inside your vehicle and make sure you got oil pressure right on, right normal for me. And then however you have to reset your oil, that's in your owner's manual as well. But the Chevy, all I do is I got some buttons over here, and for the Chevy you click the road button, a little trip meter, and that brings you through this whole thing, hours of the vehicle, odometer, and the trip. I reset the trip, so this almost had 4,500 miles on this oil. So then I press this button right here, which will reset the trip meter, and then I go to the little gas button. It shows me my fuel economy, and that's what you do get in a 6.1. Hopefully I get better now that I've changed the NOx sensors and my O2 sensor. I'm going to reset that as well on the next trip, and then go to engine oil life. And some vehicles, a lot of vehicles, are shut it off, turn the key on all the way, not all the way, turn the key on but not start, hit it 3 times, hold the last one, and it resets it. This truck's different. My other Chevy was like that, but this 05 is just hit this button again and hold it for 3 to 4 seconds, and then this should pop up on your screen. It says change engine oil, and that's an indicator. Oil life reset, and then bang, 100%. So now you're reset, and you're good to go. All right, guys. So motor's running, sounding good, and no leaks underneath. We're good to go. You're good to go for another 4 to 5,000 miles, and make sure you stay on top of this stuff, because you take care of it, it'll take care of you. Until next time, first time to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and then the notification. I think it's on this side or one of this side. I think it's on this side. Hit that, hit the bell. Leave a comment down below too. Let me know if you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.